you today, Tom?
Good morning, Shannon. Thanks for that. We're looking forward to another great day here in space. Thanks a lot.
And you're very welcome.
This is Mission Control, Houston. Space Shuttle Endeavour's crew awakened this morning to the sounds of Rascal Flatts performing Life as a Highway. That tune was played especially for Tom Marshburn, who completed his first spacewalk on Monday. Crew now moving forward with its post-sleep activities, getting cleaned up, having some breakfast, and getting ready for work with their Expedition 20 colleagues. Day of robotic operations planned for today, as well as a little bit of off-duty time for the crew to rest up after a busy first portion of the mission.
Mark Polanski and Mission Specialist Julie Payette working with the Space Shuttle's robotic arm to unberth yet another cargo carrier, this one the logistics section for the new exposed facility on the Kibo Laboratory. That's carrying up some equipment and experiments for the facility. And that will then be handed off similar to the way the integrated cargo carrier was done on Sunday to the space station's robotic arm to be installed in its location, temporary location on the exposed facility. At the top of the screen, you can see the end effector of the Canadarm, the Space Shuttle's robotic arm, 50-foot long robotic arm that was built by the Canadian Space Agency. One of the reasons that Payette is doing so many of the robotics operations on this mission. And at the bottom of the screen, you can see the grapple fixture, a prong sticking up that will allow the robotic arm to grasp onto that logistics carrier. The end effector has 3 wires that can tighten into a loop that allow it to tighten around the prong and provides its grip.
Houston Airlock Space to Ground 2 for EVA video.
Go ahead, Airlock Space Ground 2.
Hi, Al. Morning. I'm in the airlock. Dave and I are about 10 minutes away from starting the tool big and all of our work for today. If you'd like, I can set up the mini cam.
Okay, go ahead, set it up. We may be a while before we get on board with all the robotics.
You bet. Come on board at your leisure, just let us know.
Sure thing.
That was Mission Specialist Chris Cassidy talking with the Capcom in the Space Station Flight Control Room. Hal Getzelman. While all this robotic activity is going on, meanwhile, elsewhere in the station, particularly inside the Quest airlock, Cassidy will be getting ready for his first spacewalk tomorrow. He and Mission Specialist Dave Wolf will be going outside, and to get ready for that today, the two of them will be resizing their spacesuits and getting their tools together. And then later tonight, we'll be camping out inside the Quest airlock at 10 pounds per square inch air pressure, a little lower than the rest of the station, which stays at about sea level, 14.7 pounds per square inch. And that is designed to help them avoid decompression sickness when they do leave the space station. Good view here of the logistics carrier as it's being lifted out of the shuttle's cargo bay by Mission Specialist Julie Payette and Commander Mark Polanski using the Space Shuttle's robotic arm. The carrier's shaped like a triangle with the points cut off, and where the top point would be points down into the cargo bay. As they lift it out, you can see the 3 different pieces of experiments or equipment being brought up by it. Across from left to right, the first is the communications equipment that's going to be installed on the exposed facility. The second 2 are the experiments that are going to be installed. The first one is the CETA AP. That's the one designed to look at the effects of space environment on electronics equipment. And the third one on the left-hand side of the carrier is the MAXI experiment, which is looking at X-rays generated by astronomy targets in the sky. Again, that one is able to scan the entire sky every 90 minutes as the space station orbits the Earth. Teams here on the ground in the Space Shuttle Flight Control Room report that the Space Shuttle's robotic arm now has the logistics carrier in its handoff position. They'll wait now for the space station robotic arm to move into its position for that actual handoff. That again will be controlled by mission specialist Koichi Wakata and pilot Doug Hurley from the robotics workstation inside the testing laboratory. It's a view of Wakata and Hurley inside the testing laboratory working at that robotics workstation. That's again where the space station's robotic arm is controlled from. Have their control of the camera views they can see as well as the robotic arm. View here of the new exposed facility with the space station robotic arm ready under it and the logistics carrier that's about to be added to it moving into place via the space shuttle robotic arm.
Station Endeavour on the big loop. We are at the jelly handoff position with the brakes on. Doug and Koichi, you've got to go for jelly grapple.
Station copies, thanks.
Logistics carrier in position to be handed off to the space station's robotic arm. Again, heard it referred to as the jelly. That again stands for the JEM, which is the Japanese Experiment Module, another name for Kibo. Experiment Logistics Module Exposed Section, or JLE, which is the long name for the logistics carrier that brought up the equipment for the exposed facility in the shuttle.
Getting oriented and now setting up 3D space.
Teams here on the ground reporting that the station's robotic arm now has a grip on the logistics carrier.